everyone. It's Elena Bartosh, your real estate investor. Today, my podcast, Deals Buddy, is with a wonderful guest. So my guest today, a known person in Sub-2 community, known person in Charleston, South Carolina, Birdie Nicksic. Meet Birdie.
Hi,
Birdie.
Elena. Hi.
How are you today? Beautiful.
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being my guest today. I love your glasses. Very
Thank
stylish.
you. Thank you. I'm trying to wear the blue light, the blue light glasses.
Yeah.
I forget sometimes and I leave them places. And so then when I remember, it's a good thing to do.
Yeah, we should protect our eyes. We should protect our health for sure. Yes. All our job is about computers. Yeah, perfect, Birdie. Thank you so much to be my guest today. And could you please tell people a little bit who is Birdie?
So I am, well, like you said, I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. I used to live for a long time in Los Angeles I lived there for 22 years, and I was an actress. And I was an actress for 30 years. And we moved, we left Los Angeles. We have 3 children. My husband, David, and I are in business in this real estate space together. And we decided in 2019-ish, maybe even 2018, we started having conversations about, we've been here for a while. Should we move? Where should we go? We always like to play that game of like, where could we go if we didn't live here? Because we really liked where we lived. And we could never come up with a place. And then we really started to see things shift there. Sort of seemed like it was really fast with a lot of homeless, just abundant homeless, and cost of living going. So just kept going, and like everywhere. But it became evident that if we did not leave, it was going to be continually just like that grind. So the quality of life would continue to get the quality of life was not getting better. Let's put it that way. So we decided to pick Charleston. My husband picked Charleston. He'd never been here, but he said, do you want to go there? I was like, yes, let's go. So we were on this adventure, and we moved here during COVID. And when we moved here, we didn't know what we wanted to do. He's also an entrepreneur. So we were kind of trying to figure things out. And I found Sub-2, and I knew that I wanted to do something in real estate, but I had my real estate license for 5 years in Los Angeles, which is really only because I was pregnant and I wanted to figure out something to do. And I thought that was getting into real estate, was getting your license. And I found out very quickly that was not the space I wanted to be in. And I actually then started my design company that I had for 11 years there. And I was doing that as my side hustle to my acting job. So when I moved to Charleston, I was kind of didn't think I wanted to build an entire business around design the same way anyway. I didn't know. So I was introduced to Sub-2. We jumped in. We love the community. Of course, our fearless leader, Pace Morby, is a really, really phenomenal, special person. And just met some amazing people. And I started to, just with networking and talking and really getting to know people, I started to realize how much need there was for people to have design introduced to their concepts. And so that led me to where I am now in the community, which is doing flyby consultations. I call them flyby, for obvious reasons. Birds fly. And so I fly to the project. I gather all of the pertinent information, and I consult. Basically, I create boards. I meet when I go for these consultations. I walk the property. I drive the neighborhood. I drive the area. I meet with the contractor. I meet with the builder, whoever the players are. We all meet and we discuss, and then we drive to the places that they will be sourcing the materials, and we talk through that. And I'm there for a couple of days, and then I come home and I do a preliminary boards, basically just kind of saying, here is the vision. And then we start collaborating from there. And if they say, yeah, one of them, maybe the fix and flipper hates the color blue. And so these are things that we just kind of get out into the open, and I work on the boards. I do a couple of different versions of the boards, and then we come up with the final map. And then I give them the map and I say, okay, reach out to me if you hit a snafu and you need some guidance. I'm happy to continue to answer questions. But what I did, Elena, was I removed the piece of the job that I did not enjoy, which was babysitting other people's subcontractors. When I was in Los Angeles and I had my design company, I loved creating the vision. I loved the initial stage of creating that vision. That's 10% of it. And then 80% of it is actually doing making sure that it gets installed right, making sure. And it's not that I didn't enjoy that, but the part that I did not enjoy was really babysitting the people. And that's a hard thing to do. So I removed that element of it. I don't mind being in the middle of rubble and problem solving on the spot and being there and showing them how to lay out the tiles and making sure everything is to scale and all of those things. I actually really love that. But the part I wanted to eliminate was the trying to get a plumber to show up because they were holding up, it would hold up the job or whatever. So that being said, that's basically what I do. So now I'm offering those services inside the community, and there's plenty of people to help. And my goal is to help teach and guide so that anyone who's working on an asset for value add or fix and flipping or repurposing a building or something like that they get the most out of it, that they spend their money wisely, that they get the end result that they're hoping for, and that the end user, whether it's a buyer or a renter or a business patron, that the end user will truly love the end product. So everybody wins.
I love it, Birdie. I love it because this life is so crazy. We live in this crazy time. Sometimes we forget to eat nice food, to see the beauty, to create beauty around us.
Right.
And I really appreciate you just described what you not just do it, you love it.
Oh, I love it.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, we have some comments in the chat. Hi, Pansy. So Pansy said, hey, my amazing friends.
Hi, Pansy.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Pansy, for being today with us. Absolutely. Yeah. And I love your story. It sounds like you and your husband, you both guys, world citizens people, because you lived in Los Angeles. Let's move somewhere. Yeah. Okay. South Carolina. Let's move to South Carolina.
Yeah. It was a fun adventure, and our kids love it. They were on board. Of course, it was easy to go across country during COVID because no one was doing anything and you couldn't see anyone. And so it sort of actually was incredibly, I just find it sort of divine timing. Where we had to pack it. We had plenty of time to pack because there was nothing else to do and nowhere to go. Mm-hmm. So we packed up our home. We got to see the people that we wanted to see before we left, and and we traveled here, and it was just very easy. It was very interesting. And the kids, once we got to South Carolina, it was like another planet. Everything was open here. My kids were trying out for sports. They went to school in person. You know, it felt like Los Angeles was a place where nobody was doing anything. They didn't play sports for another year. And their schools were closed. It was at home learning 100%. So it was really such a gift. I'm so glad we did it. And my kids were super happy. So it worked out.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah. I can imagine, because nature here, more rich, right? More to do, climate not so strong, not so hot. Yeah, for children. Yeah. And Bertie, you mentioned you have 3 children. How old are your children?
So I have a daughter who's 21, a daughter who's 18, and my son turns 16 tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
I can't believe it. Thank you.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you moved from California to South Carolina. And so did you know what you're going to do? Because you mentioned you switched from actress career to something totally different. And so did you combine your design business and actress career back in Los Angeles?
Yeah. So when I was in LA, I started my design company. So I was doing, that was my side hustle. So I was acting, and I was doing design, and it was word of mouth only. So I really was it was referral business. So everyone that I worked for that hired me knew I was an actress, which is exactly why I did it that way. I did not want to have a website and have random people calling me and then having to, go through the interview process and let them know, hey, I'm also an actress. Because unless people know you and know that you can juggle both and do both successfully, it just I felt like that would be an extra level of convincing them that I could do their job really well. And so it just helped to be referral only. These were people that my other clients knew. And so, yeah, it was not, I mean, I was very busy, but I think my upbringing, I have always been that person who's had many, many, many things on my plate. So I've trained myself to be very busy.
Perfect. This is the purpose of life, constant growth. I agree with you. So how life treated you after you moved to South Carolina? You mentioned how you joined it Sub 2, you found many people. So, but again, you should do network again. You should do networking again from the scratch, right? In new market, real estate. So how did you get the idea to combine your new place and real estate and fix and flip? So tell us your story next, please.
Yes. So then, so when we moved, I was really ready to get out of the Hollywood audition, world. And again, it was COVID, so nobody knew what that forecast was going to be. And I'm a creative person, so I just wanted to figure that out. And it took me a couple of years to realize that design was it's been something that's been in my blood since I was a kid. I mean, just like acting, but I started, I don't know. I actually first went through Grant Cardone's program and was thinking I wanted to do big multifamily, which we do want to eventually be there, but it was so much information and it felt like such a large elephant. I was like, I don't have the energy to start eating the elephant. It's so big. So as I was kind of scrolling through, and I continually, as we know, when you're in that algorithm on your phone, it feeds you what you're paying attention to. And so the Gator community came up, and then Sub 2 came up. So we actually jumped into Gator, but then like 5 days later, I jumped into Sub 2. So it really started there. We wanted to start buying and holding real estate, and we knew that there was a way to do it creatively. We just didn't understand it. We needed to learn. And so that's what we jumped in. And like we all just overwhelmed ourselves with information. And I would say it took us about, March, April, May. It took us 2.5 months to get our first property. And we still felt very new and very, kind of overwhelmed. And then I would say around month 6 or 7, for me at least, and possibly for my husband as well, and he had a W-2. So he was probably even more overwhelmed because he didn't have the mental space to process it as quickly. But after 6 or 7 months, it started to just settle in, and I started to feel like I understood how to use my words. And I think it's like learning a new language.
Yeah.
Right? You have to use it all the time. And then it starts to become part of who you are. So I cannot believe how much we've learned and grown. And it's not even been 2 years. I mean, it'll be 2 years February 1st. So in a couple of months.
Awesome. And you not only do buy and hold, you do fix and flip, and you do design the same time, right? So where do you guys buy? What states? What cities? What makes you attractive?
Yeah, so we just Charleston and Savannah. That's what I mean. We love our backyard. I love to understand the market that I'm buying in. It makes me, and I think it's interesting because this journey has helped me realize that I actually am kind of risk averse. Not kind of. I'm pretty risk averse. So when I talk to other people and they're like, "Oh, I've got properties all over the country," I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. I'm a person who likes to visit it and see it and feel it, touch it, smell, whatever. And I want to own places that I want to go visit and see. I don't know why. It's important to me. And I'm okay with owning a place in like Croatia because I'll go see it. Or, Paris or whatever. I'm not opposed to that. But I don't know that I want to own a place in the middle of Nebraska or New Mexico or, it might be a great market, but I guess what I'm trying to say is there's so much about me and about my husband as investors that want to love what we have invested our time and money into, that I think that's kind of where we are. So
sounds like a great, great, great story, Birdie. Just great story. Yeah, Pansy, thank you so much. We have several comments from Pansy. She says, "Yes, I love it."
Yeah. It makes me, because if anything were to go sideways with an investment, I want to be able to be there and I want to see it through and I want to make sure that it gets made right. And the best way for me to ensure that happens without too much of an upheaval of my life is by doing it in places that I want to be or spend time.
And plus, you are a visual person, right? If you do design, you need to see everything to be able to evaluate. Yeah. Awesome. And so you mentioned you do real estate together with your husband right now, correct?
Yes.
You guys are a team. And I feel you guys complement each other, right? Because it sounds to me like your husband more numbers person.
Oh, I don't know if he's more of a numbers person. He does the stuff that I think based on survival, you know how you have the hunter and the gatherer, and that's how it works. David is doing the role of the integrator right now in our business because I am the weaker person in that category. But he's definitely creative. He's a visual person. He's a lot of the things that I am. So it makes it hard. And we are getting ready in the new year to find an operator so that we can free him of doing the things that he shouldn't be doing either, really. I mean, it takes us longer to get things done because we really do need someone that loves to do that. So
yeah, sounds great. Sounds great. It's time for you guys to do maybe to buy back your time to do something else, to start new projects.
Yes. So it'd be great. I look forward to having him be with me more, outward facing, building the relationships, because he's actually really good at that too. But again, he is doing the thing that I just won't do it. I shouldn't be anywhere near a spreadsheet. Well, I can be near a spreadsheet, but I shouldn't be in charge of building it and calculators, and I can use them, but I shouldn't be building them and organizing them and in charge of them necessarily.
Yeah, sounds awesome. And how you guys share your responsibility in real estate business? Who does what?
So he does. So he kind of runs our team. We have a small team, and he's involved with that. And I'm doing the flyby program, which is the design consultation. And I fly around, and I am more outward facing, and I'm building the relationships with agents and not even sellers. He does the sellers. But agents and lenders and inside the community. And I work inside of Owners Club with Luz Ramirez and with Pace's team in a sort of, I call it a concierge type of service to make sure that everyone inside of Owners Club is feeling connected, feeling excited, that we can understand their superpower, make sure that they're on a path towards growth. And if they're stuck, how can we help you? Making sure they know where the resources are, who their best person is to reach out to if they have an issue or they feel stuck or they want to talk about something. So we sort of we're sort of extra arms and legs and minds for Pace's team. They do so much, as you know. And Pace is constantly pouring into the community and creating opportunities and events and challenges and just homework and really growth opportunities for all of us, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, financial. There's so much growth happening, and his team is, I'm sure I've never actually been to his office. Have you?
No, I never been.
Yeah. So I will be at his office, I think, in January. We're doing an event. And I giggle because I'm like, if I walked into his office, I would expect to hear circus music. Not because I think it would be a circus, but because there's so much going on, and there's got to be so many things to look at and talk to people about. So Disneyland, I guess, maybe would be a better analogy. But I just think they do so much, and he does so much, and he holds the bar so high for himself. And I'm sure his team, everybody loves him. I'm sure they feel like they want to over deliver, and then it just spills down, right? So Luz Ramirez and I are an extra appendage, I feel like, for them inside, because we're inside of Owners Club. So we're doing that. But anyway, so David's doing the integrator work, and I'm really doing relationship building. I also kind of dip into whatever they're getting on the team, on our team. We have a property under contract, we kind of look at it, and I help analyze what the best use is for that property. Is it a fix and flip? Is it a buy and hold? Are we keeping it? Is one of us on our team going to keep it? If so, we have systems in place for that. So, I just sort of look at it and analyze it as sort of I give my final stamp on it. Whether or not they agree with me is a whole other thing. But that's it.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds like you have an awesome team and great. You really great complement each other together with your husband. Yeah, it feels.
Yeah.
It feels. Yeah. Birdie, the main topics for my podcast, I have two topics. First topic is deals buddies, deals mates, and second topic, private money lending. So our podcast with you today about friendship, about networking, about human relationship, about yourself, your journey. But anyway, I would like to touch base a little bit private money lending topic as well with you.
Yes.
So I suppose when you moved from Los Angeles to South Carolina, you guys will need to start networking with local people, with local lenders, right? Who potentially could help you to grow your business locally in South Carolina. So what was your strategy, and what is your strategy to reach out, to find lenders, to start building relationship with them? So what is your general strategy?
So really we did it when we first started. We were using our own funds, which doesn't allow you to scale. So we learned that lesson. And in year one, we learned that lesson. We also did a couple of private money loans ourselves. We were lenders. And I would not say that either one of those was a great experience, which we also learned from. But that was because we were new to it. And I think we were new. We were green. We thought we knew what to do and how to protect ourselves. And, it was messy. And so we sort of decided, all right, let's pivot, let's do some deals, and let's try to find some private money. First, we did a private money lender, and then we ended up buying their position out. And then we've now gotten a couple of private money partners. And so we really like that model. If the deal's right, if it's something that's going to be a fix and flip, we obviously do private money lender. And there are quite a few people inside the community that do that. And they want to do private money lending. They want to do private money partnering, depending on what their goals are. And so we actually have a fix and hold property that we're working on right now that inside the community, we have a private money lender who they've got a bigger range of funds that they can lend out. And so they were kind of serving as more of a hard money lender, but without necessarily the hard money. Well, it's like a hard money lender, but they're private money lenders. I don't really know. I don't really know the difference, actually. What makes one? Do you know?
Oh, yes, it's a long topic. I had several lenders on my podcast.
It's a long topic. Okay.
Yeah, it's very long topic. So hard money, mostly institutional.
Yeah. So I always sort of categorize it based on the rate and how they are structuring the loan. So these guys do feel like hard money lenders, but they're private money lenders. Anyway, maybe not. Maybe that's not important. But the point is that they're inside the community. They're amazing. And then I have a private money partner that is going to stay in this property with me as we expand it. So it's a duplex and we're building another duplex on the empty lot behind it. So in just a month or so, we're going to refinance the first lien, the hard money, private money, out of the loan into a DSCR loan. And then we're going to move into our deconstruction loan portion of this process. So it's exciting. I mean, I really like having partners. I think it's, if you can find someone that's equally excited about the property and who they want the long-term cash flow, I mean, I'm all about it. And I do feel like investing in Charleston and Savannah maybe makes it easier to find partners because people want to come here and they want to, own here. It's a great market. So far, so good.
Yeah. So all your lenders are from sub-2 community, right?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, yeah. This makes life a little bit more easier because, you don't have to build cold contacts with people.
Yes.
It's great. Yes, it's a great community if you found your people who are able to help you to support growing your business. This is always
and we've made relationships with a couple of other lenders locally here in Charleston, but I think it always boils down to building those relationships. So we have one particular relationship that we have talked to him a number of times. He's given us term sheets on handful, probably half a dozen properties. And it didn't end up working out because the holding costs are just too much. And so we really, really, really want to do a deal with this company. They're small, they're local investors. And I would like to develop that relationship, but at the same time, it has to be the right deal. I'm not willing to just grab the loan because I really want the deal. If it doesn't make sense safely, I just will let it go. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. So you do your own due diligence, correct? You do your own numbers.
Yeah. So David, we have a really great calculator that we got. Do you know Michael Manatsakanian?
Yep.
Yes. So we are veteran investors with him. So he has a program, veteran investors, and now he has a school that's called the Super Investors. So we're part of that. So he's a phenomenal calculator I love it. And if I'm saying that, everyone who likes calculators would love it because I don't like to do that stuff. But if I can do it and enjoy it, then it's a home run. So so we use his calculator and we make sure that it makes sense. And it's a really good tool.
Great. It's awesome. Yeah, I love you. I love all your story. I love all your dynamic. It sounds like you never sit on your bench dreaming about something beautiful in your life. You do create your life together with your husband, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And Birdie, I remember when we met first time with you about months ago, you told me about local charity project you guys want to start. Could you please tell a little bit more about this wonderful project?
Yes, I love it. So there's a 120-year-old nonprofit in Charleston. In fact, we just went to the gala event of their 120th birthday, which is that's impressive to have a nonprofit that's been around that long and successful. So this
Mm.
organization specifically helps homeless men get off of the street, but it's a high barrier of entry. And do you know what that is?
No.
High barrier of entry. So what that means is it is not it's not a place that it's like a hot shower, a cot, and a hot meal. It is a program. So these men come in, they come to the door, it's downtown Charleston, and they basically say, I'm ready. I don't want to live like this anymore. I want something better for myself. I know that I have something better to do with my life. And so there is a big intake process, and they commit themselves to sticking with it. And there's 3 different levels. And once they get to the 3rd level, they have had a job, they have a checking account, they have a savings account, and they're ready to move out and go find an apartment and live, downtown typically, or wherever they're close to wherever their job is. A lot of these guys don't have cars yet at this point. But what's happening with this nonprofit is that they're bottlenecking because it's just too expensive now in downtown Charleston. So it's hard for these guys to say, I can spend $700 a month. Where can I live? And the last thing that they want to do is send these guys into Section 8 housing, because it's kind of like 10 steps forward, 6 steps back. And you don't want to send them when they've been moving up the mountain and they've gotten themselves feeling strong and good and focused and motivated, that then to say, okay, Section 8 housing, go rely on the government. It doesn't feel good. It's not the right direction. So our goal is to, because I think, and by the way, I'm not cutting into Section 8 housing. I just think if they moved into that, it would feel like it was one curtain away from homelessness again. Right? It's an environment that could weigh heavy on all the efforts that they made. And so our goal is to be sort of a level 4, to create and find and create residences here in downtown Charleston where we can pencil it out so that we can afford to put that organization would blanket lease the property. These guys will come in and pay $700 a month. And, you need a little bit longer of a runway to maybe start making enough to be able to pay $900 a month, right? And then $1,000 a month. And, it's, or having enough money where they can continue to pay $700 a month, and then they get a car, and then they can move somewhere where they can afford maybe $800 a month, and then they have a car, and so they can get to work. And I think that's how you rebuild. And they've got a wait list. This place has a wait list. So there's men coming to the door every day, and they're knocking and saying, I want, and they're saying, I'm sorry, we're full. They can't move these guys out. It's so hard. So
yeah, they definitely need investors like you who could help them to rebuild, refresh housing for these guys. It's amazing, because usually in society people believe woman needs protection, woman needs help, but men needs protection as well. And
of course, and this is for and this is for men, but they are wanting to launch the women's program now after 120 years. They're like, okay, we have proof of concept. I'm like, 120 years is pretty good proof of concept. But women, a lot of the women have children, and so there's a whole other layer to that. But we are really excited about it. We're not going to give up. We look at properties and underwrite properties every day, trying to come up with ways creatively to make this dream possible for them. Mm-hmm. And it will happen. I know it will happen. So we just have to keep pushing.
Absolutely, it will happen. So what is the, let's create order to universe. So what are the criteria for property you're looking for? So let's do visualization.
Oh, I
Let's
love
do
that. Oh,
let's do
let's
this
do it.
order.
Okay, let's order it. I would like to
Let's
order a property that has the ability to be 8 individual units, efficiencies,
Mhm.
and where it would pencil to be less than $7,000 a month.
Mhm.
And we could cash flow tiny little bit, like $500.
Let's create 500. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So $500 cash flow, net cash flow, and we've got 8 individual men living in there, paying
Mhm.
their rent as in a blanket lease from the 501c3, and they're all living in a nice space, clean, and they're respectful and they're excited about life. And it's in a good
Mhm.
location in Charleston where it's right near public transportation in a safe neighborhood.
Perfect. Okay. Let's be more
And then we
specific.
find a
Yeah.
bigger place where we have something that we can develop for the women. And that would be more of a commercial building that we can do mixed use zoning with, so that we can have, because for that building, we would need to have the whole program. So we would need to have the office, the intake, and sort of the stage 1, and maybe even the stage 2 part of what that program is. So it's sort of
Mhm.
a larger building. So think of like an not even an elementary school size, but a small office building. Maybe it's 4 floors, maybe it's 3 floors.
Mhm.
And we have the funds to convert it and create a really wonderful space for women on one side, and maybe even women with one child on the other side.
Yeah.
So
And
there's,
I suppose these buildings should have access to public transportation.
yes,
Correct?
public transportation, and also maybe even a bigger common area where if they do have kids,
Yeah.
or we can bring someone in to teach cooking classes or
Mhm.
sewing, different trades coming in, and an office center, some sort of meeting area. So, and
Okay.
the really, really great thing about it is we just need to find the property and buy it creatively. And they have the entire program already set in place. They would just, it would be plug and play for them. So essentially,
Oh,
we're not the operators. We just need to find the right building.
Birdie, you just answered Pensy's question. So she asks you, "What's your bottleneck?" Yeah, you just said property.
Yes, we just need to find the right property, and it needs to be in West Ashley. I'm naming neighborhoods. West Ashley,
Yeah.
North Charleston,
Mhm.
or Charleston. I mean,
Perfect.
it could be in Mount Pleasant also, but that would be probably a very expensive thing.
Order
So,
created.
order created.
Order created, sign it, and
Uh,
voila. Relax and trust. Now just
yeah.
wait until it will come true.
Pansy said she
Someone
wants to
already.
know more
Yeah.
ways to be involved. Well, I
Mhm.
will keep everyone posted about how it's going, because our big thing for 2025 is to be able to provide one of the men's apartment buildings, units, efficiencies, one for the men, and then have the ability to bring forward start the women's program with them.
Beautiful plans, beautiful order, beautiful story from beautiful lady.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Birdie, to be my guest. I love your story. It's absolutely your story, not just story of success. It's story of success with purpose, and it makes it even more beautiful.
Thanks, Elena.
Yeah. Penn says you put it out there. The universe will grant this. Yeah, absolutely, it will.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, people, to being today with us, to be today our guests. And probably we have a couple minutes left. If you have any comments for Birdie, or if you have any questions to her, please feel free to ask her in the chat. Actually, I will put Birdie's Facebook link under this video on my YouTube channel. If you have questions to her, please feel free to reach out directly to Birdie. Yeah, thank you so much, Birdie, to be today with us.
Thank you.
If you have any nuggets for people who struggling to do something meaningful in real estate, or people who are looking some purpose for themselves, just please give them to us.
Yeah. So I would say a big thing as I've gotten older and done, I've been in my whole life been in that space where you didn't get anywhere unless you took the first step. I think that's probably true in any business. But you need to just give yourself permission to move forward, take one step today towards the person that you say you want to be, that you can visualize being. Take the one step today that gets you one step closer to that, and know that it's just give yourself permission to have it be clumsy and embarrassing. And just try to laugh at yourself, give yourself permission, try to find enjoyment out of it, and know that sometimes we feel insecure because we think, oh, what are people saying? What are people thinking? You know what? I can tell you what they're saying and what they're thinking. They're saying to themselves, what are other people saying about me? And they're thinking about themselves. So we all do it. We all do it. They're not thinking about you and what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if they are, they're sitting at their computer thinking about you because they're sad and they're not doing anything for themselves. So if you know that the random people you care about what they're thinking are really only thinking about themselves, what's stopping you?
Yep.
What's stopping you?
Great question. And we all should ask ourselves and this question and give our answers.
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is you fall down. You're not going to die.
Yep.
If you fall down, you scrape your knee, you get back up, you put a Band-Aid on it, and you go, okay, that wasn't so bad. Right?
Yep. Absolutely. No. Failure is not on the end of the life. Some failure is great lesson.
That's right.
Yep. Thank you so much, Birdie. Thank you so much, Pansy. Pansy says, I appreciate ladies. We appreciate you, Pansy, a lot. Yeah. Thank you for your support. And for everyone who watches us right now, thank you guys for all your support. And Birdie, it was so cool and so sweet to talk to you and to listen to all your story. Wonderful.
Thank you, Elena. It was so nice to be here.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Birdie.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. It's so nice not always to talk only about private money lending. So most of my podcasts are about private money, but sometimes just having sweet guests who can demonstrate us how wonderful is this life, how cool is to have purpose, how cool to give value to community, how brave we have to be, because life is too short. And to relocate, different state, different country, whatever, to take fun decision, to bring all your family to your new place. Yeah, it makes our life with purpose. Thank you so much, guys, for being today with us. I love my guests. I love my podcasts, and I love all my people who watch my podcast. Thank you so much, and have a good night.